But we're going to move over to Microsoft. And I know this is a PlayStation channel, but this is something to do with PlayStation as well. Now, if you didn't know, if any of you have got Xboxes or fallen out of love, I thought this was very, very baffling on what Phil Spencer said. And I saw parts of the video where he basically said, we're trying to figure out why creators or players are not playing, they're choosing to skip the Xbox generation. And I think it's only a sad thing that Microsoft have gone in the direction that they've decided to go. I think it's sad because PS2, was it PS3? Sorry, with the the Xbox 360? I think console wars, friendly console wars, you know what I mean? I remember my mate was like, no, I'm buying Xbox. I was like, well, I'm buying PlayStation. But that's even better because we used to go to each other's houses and play different games and different consoles. It was really fun. And I think it's very sad that Microsoft have just fallen off the wagon. I think there's a number of reasons that they have just continued to decline. And yeah, the 360, my friend had the 360 and it was an amazing console. One biggest thing for Xbox, which I think is the worst decision that they ever made, was Game Pass. Obviously, value for money for the gamers is obviously great. I personally feel like they just devalued all of their gamers buying a physical copy or buying the game and supporting the developers. Like, I don't know how much gaming companies can make money on Xbox because it's not about how many copies per se that you sell. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, imagine a developer, an indie developer, and you want to focus on the amount of copies you sell. And then when it comes to Xbox, we just want it on Game Pass. It's like, well, how much are you going to pay us for us to get it on Game Pass? And I just feel like you go to anywhere, there's hardly any games on the Xbox shelf because it's just Game Pass, Game Pass, Game Pass. I think that was a big mistake. And that's the thing, it's like an all-you-can-eat buffet. You're not even focused on the quality of the food. You're like, I can just eat as much as I want. It's not even focused on quality of the game. Like, I don't understand the names to these damn Xbox. First of all, they made a more affordable console with the Xbox Series S. See, I don't even know. It's like so confusing. And it's like you've got developers that need to downgrade their games to then get them on both consoles. Another thing is just like, it just made no sense. Imagine the developers, my gosh, we've got a lot of work to do and now we've got to make it more rubbish. I don't think it's rocket science of why they're investigating, why developers are prioritizing the PS5. I've got my Series X, haven't started it for like a wow brand, and it just makes things so complicated. That's why you get so many games that are taking longer to come out. Like Black Myth Wukong is supposedly going to come to Xbox, but they needed more time. Baldur's Gate 3 needed more time. What they say is a blog post on Microsoft's game developer website has highlighted the firm's intention to learn why Xbox is being skipped over in favor of other platforms. So it's no big secret that certain developers have faced struggles with the Xbox ecosystem in recent times. The biggest example is Baldur's Gate 3, which was delayed on Xbox because of the Series S, because its inability to competently run the game in split screen mode. There have been problems in other areas. The studio behind Enotria, I always get the name wrong. Enotria, that's the one that just came out, the Souls-like game. And this is crazy. When I heard this, I already heard this. So the studio behind Enotria, the last song, they made it public. It struggles to communicate with Xbox, leading to a lengthy delay. Similar, the makers of 2D Metroidvania Hake, Haak, I don't know what game that is, are bringing to the game to PS5, but skipping Microsoft's platform entirely. This new push from Microsoft to improve its relationship with developers is perhaps a result of missteps such as these. It's all about giving game developers what they need to feel empowered and supported by Xbox. Read this blog post. Xbox principal user Dr. Deborah Henderson, she said she wants to hear from everyone who works on games or helps support game studios, because if we can make your life easier, it makes gaming better. Really? Is the company that much of a mess where you're not even communicating with with your developers? Most interestingly, the scope of the research extends to those not making the games for Xbox. If you aren't on Xbox, we would love to know why, Henderson says. And honestly, if you are using our competitors' products, you probably have a great perspective we could learn from. Bit late, in it? It just makes you think that they're only doing this now. It all sounds good to us. Better communication and an open-minded view on feedback can only be a positive thing. What are your thoughts on this? Discuss in the comments. Game Pass, smaller market, Series S limitations, decline in market share, juice not worth the squeeze. It's quite a good saying there. Harder development tools along with far less active user base when it comes to actually buying games. I think this is one of the main things, guys. If Sony just said one day, we're going to put it onto a subscription service, I would be so disappointed, even though they might be like, it's more cost effective. I'm old school, and I just think it supports the developer when you buy the physical box. And I that's what I've done for all my life. And the excitement of getting something in your hands. I know people just do digital. I get it. But I'm just saying, that is the way. I feel like Game Pass is just devalued developers. If PS6 is digital only, I stick with this gen and get a lot of games to be. Surely, I'm gonna say that the PS6 will come with a, like, it won't come with a disk drive, but you can attach a disk drive, because they say they're focusing on backwards compatibility. Do they mean digital only? Or do they mean that they're going to add a disk drive and you can play all your PS5 games? Exactly. You know, DJ Chip, when you open that box, crazy where Microsoft, they've just gone off a cliff. What did Phil Spencer say? Something about it's not about consoles. Games don't sell consoles. It's not about consoles with Microsoft anyway. They have well and truly lost that fight. There will new build passing color the highlights. Digital games are essentially, yep. I heard about that and I've read about that. The reason why I'm such a PlayStation fan, I just love the games that they bring out. And they are exclusive or timed exclusive for PS5, and that's just me. That's why I support PlayStation. I love it. I think it's great.